Welcome back. Last week we looked at how some early Renaissance painters used camera luciders, reflective mirrors and other aids to help them out with their detail and their perspective. And today we still have artists who continue to use the lens as a form of reference.
Photography is a drawing medium for me. I use it to collect information in an age where it's hard to, set up your easel at a petrol station or get someone to pose for you for 5 weeks. No one has the time anymore, so it's a great drawing medium to collect as much information as you can about light and texture and anatomy or what have you.
I'm constantly taking photographs to document things that I see everywhere. I can just take hundreds and hundreds of images, and I've got hundreds stored up on my computer and constantly refer to it. I like to catch that sort of serendipity shot, the lucky shot, that you can do with a digital camera, which you wouldn't necessarily have done with a film camera because of the value of film. Yeah.
Both Eaton and Butt use the lens in addition to their sketches to act as references for the elements in their paintings. In the case of Asim Butt's painting of a boy at the petrol pump, the camera was the best tool for capturing a unique moment that he could later embellish on canvas.
So in that painting I took a number of photographs of a boy who was hanging around at the tire shop near the petrol pump, and I thought he made a nice model, so I made him pose with a petrol nozzle. And interestingly enough, the security guard who was around kept leaning into the frame. In retrospect, him leaning into my frame lent that painting a lot more meaning, because he had an actual pump action type of gun with him, and here's this, and he's foregrounded by this figure who's holding the petrol nozzle like a gun. So it talks about oil insecurity, and it talks about machismo, and it talks about all of these issues in a very sort of neat frame, which is being intervened into by quite accidentally by a security guard who was manning the petrol pump. And I took some photographs with a flash, and I took some without, and then you combine all these as references and fold them into like one painted image.
Similarly, in Belinda Eaton's painting The Gamblers, the camera served to give her various points of reference for the final piece.
Okay, Gamblers started off with obviously the black canvas. I think I painted 2 people to begin with. I didn't really know. I think they'd been through a few stages. They played dominoes. I think they were eating at one stage, and then they ended up gambling. So that's layers and layers that have been painted on there. The hand that's coming up, which is straight on into, straightforward in the picture plane and foreshortening, that I actually photographed my own hand from that perspective and then looked at the digital camera and took it as a reference. So it's immediate, and you can do it instead of getting a model to come in, and sort it all out, and it's responding immediately to my work. So I do use a camera like that, definitely.
But more than anything else, the photograph reminds the artist not just of what they saw happening, but also what they might have read into those happenings.
Taking a set of photographs allows you to enter back into the memory of the moment that you photographed in with greater facility than if you had a singular photograph that you were copying. The act of transplanting yourself back into that moment allows you to recreate that in a more experienced way, because it is passing through your eye and then through your brain and into your hand. And there is also extrasensory perception that goes into this. Not to sound kind of hocus pocus about it, but there is intuition at play when you create a painting. Intuition intervenes whether you want it or not. It's going to inform the image that you create.
So it's interesting how painting and photography come together to give each other a certain edge. We're due for a quick break, but coming up on the other side, we look at how photography shapes up as a fine art and what to look out for when you're taking a picture.